My condolences to Mrs. Illich and all the entire Illich family, certainly Chris Illich as well. I can tell you as a young kid growing up, the impact that Mr. Illich had on youth hockey in the state of Michigan. I was a youth hockey player in the state of Michigan. Little Caesars was the crown jewel of youth hockey for the entirety of my youth, and still is in a lot of cases today. The impact that he had on hockey in the U.S. and certainly hockey in the state of Michigan to make Michigan one of the best states in hockey, I think is incredible. I think lots has been probably talked about. The impact he's had on the city of Detroit. Obviously, back in the 80s, moving the Little Caesars headquarters downtown, but now moving all the way through till now, where, I went on a date with my wife in downtown Detroit in August, and Detroit's hopping, and it's hopping. There's other people that have had impacts on it, but none larger than Mr. and Mrs. Illich, and so he'll leave a legacy in this state in so many different areas. When I took the job, I felt like I was going to work for the best ownership in sports, and that certainly played out to be true. And so it's certainly a big loss, but certainly the impact that Mr. Illich had on so many different areas in the state of Michigan, the city of Detroit, I can't imagine many people having a bigger impact.
Did you get a chance to spend much time with him or talk to him very much during your, either as an assistant or the last couple of years?
A little bit both, more my first year than this year, but going through the hiring process of assistants, he was heavily involved, and I met with him to discuss some of those. I thought the biggest thing I remember sitting in Comerica Park in his suite, and just the fire that he had to have success was amazing, and I think that fire was kept up all the way till yesterday. So great passion, great person.
Was he one of those guys that just had a presence when he was in person with you?
Yeah, and I think by this stage the presence was built on the odd I would say respect that everybody gave him. Anybody that had been around, the success of the organizations he was a part of, whether it be Little Caesars, the Tigers, or the Red Wings, it just demanded so much respect.
Just his impact around the city too, Jeff. I mean, when you look at the downtown core, when other people were moving out, he was kind of moving in and kind of.
Yeah, and I just spoke of that just in two different. Obviously that's going back to a long time ago up till now in the district Detroit and everything that is going on in Detroit right now. I went on I said this earlier. I went on a date with my wife this summer in August, and we went downtown, and just to see how busy it was and how happening it was, and certainly there's some others that have had an impact on that, but no more than Mr. and Mrs. Illich, and it's just amazing the impact that he had not only on the city of Detroit but the state of Michigan.
When's the last time you saw him?
It's been a little bit now. But just from my perspective, just a really good man, and obviously total respect for the success that he had in every organization he was a part of.
Do you know about Little Caesars hockey and what that's meant to just people who never even went on to play professional hockey?
Yeah, no, I spoke of that earlier. One of the first things I said was just I grew up as a youth hockey player in the state of Michigan, and Little Caesars hockey was the crown jewel of youth hockey in Michigan, and still is in a lot of cases today. And I think his sponsorship of youth hockey certainly had a huge impact on making Michigan one of the best, if not the best, youth hockey states in the country.
Do you know, was Paul able to do anything with the jerseys as far as a tribute?
I don't have that answer yet. I don't know that.
Just curious.
Yep.
Does anything need to be said to the team, or we discuss this before the game?
No, I don't think. I think everybody has the amount of respect for the Illich family is incredible within our organization. We all know that we work for, as I said earlier, work and play for the best owners, we think, in not only the NHL but in sports. And I don't think anything has to be said. Certainly we wanted to win for that family prior to yesterday, but certainly want to do it to that nth degree more now.
Lineup-wise today.
All lineup decisions will be made after warm-ups. Appreciate the asking. Cronwell and Nielsen are available. Sorry.